Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so we're doing what we usually do. We gotta keep highlighting this horrible, rampant left-wing media bias. What the media does here, they create alternative realities. You know, like the 2020 summer of riots, entire neighborhoods burning down. But if you watch CNN, they were just mostly peaceful protests, and you were gonna see the summer of love. Well, now they're doing the same thing, except this time with Kamala Harris. They're presenting this idea that Kamala Harris is so substantive, so eloquent, just so extraordinary in general, and delivering very common sense, intuitive policy platform that's good for literally everybody. Don't question how, but trust me, that's just happening. That's what they're saying. And meanwhile, Donald Trump, he's the crazy person, speaking in word salad and not saying much. You know, it's a completely backwards narrative. We know the opposite is true, but these media clowns are telling a different story. They're spinning their web, creating this illusion, this alternative reality. Let's have a conversation about that and then interject with some facts, shall we? We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so like I said, apparently during Donald Trump's economic speeches, he's just putting together words at random, just delivering word salad and nothing coherent.
To the extent that he said things that were coherent, and some of it was just sort of words randomly chosen out of a dictionary, I think. To the extent that he said anything that was coherent, it was kind of what we would expect. It was a promise of more income tax cuts, higher tariffs, which, by the way, tariffs are taxes. And if you look at the distribution of what he has proposed, most people would see more increase in taxes through tariffs than they would see tax cuts through income tax cuts. So some of that, offset. Yeah, it more than gets wiped out. So you heard tariffs, taxes, you heard this government efficiency commission, which I think at best will probably do nothing. We've had lots of blue ribbon panels before. At worst, might help Donald Trump identify more enemies whom he can weaponize state power against. And then kind of more of the same deregulation, which he tried to do in the first term.
Yeah, that was CNN's take not too long ago, and the Kamala HQ keeps posting this clip, I guess obviously trying to flip the script. But let me just remind everybody that this is Kamala Harris. This is an interview from yesterday.
How are you feeling about Pennsylvania?
I am feeling very good about Pennsylvania because there are a lot of people in Pennsylvania who deserve to be seen and heard. That's why I'm here in Johnstown. And I will be continuing to travel around the state to make sure that I'm listening as much as we are talking. And ultimately, I feel very strongly that you got to earn every vote. Yes. And that means spending time with folks in the communities where they live.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where she is, but whatever restaurant business that is, whatever establishment that is, Kamala Harris isn't qualified to manage it. Holy freaking moly. What an utter train wreck. I mean, this woman just says words, literally just picks them out the dictionary and puts them together and speaks in the most empty, the most vapid, in the most substanceless manner imaginable. You know, stuff like this, the people of Pennsylvania, they know what's at stake. And they know that I know that they know that we know what's at stake. And you know, there's people and those people are forgotten, and I haven't forgotten them. Every freaking sentence, it's always the same thing. The most empty, political nonsense jargon. But apparently it's Donald Trump who's engaging in that sort of thing. Give me a freaking break. Donald Trump at a lot of these events is dropping new policy ideas. You know, actual stuff of substance. Like this one, for instance, the latest Trump drop.
And you know, I went to some economists, great ones, and I said, what do you think? They said, it would be unbelievable. You'll get a whole new workforce by doing that. No taxes on overtime. The people who work overtime are among the hardest working citizens in our country. And for too long, no one in Washington has been looking out for them. Those are the people that really work. They're police officers, nurses, factory workers, construction workers, truck drivers, and machine operators. It's time for the working man and woman to finally catch a break, and that's what we're doing because this is a good one. And I think it's going to be great for the country. So that's why we will be saying that if you're an overtime worker when you're past 40 hours a week, think of that. Your overtime hours will be tax-free. Okay? Good? You're going to have it, too.
No tax on overtime. I mean, talk about a policy that incentivizes productivity. Most of the Western nations that America is competing with have a whole lot of bureaucracy and labor laws strictly managing overtime. Let's call it anti-productivity incentives. I mean, imagine the competitive edge if you incentivize overtime. Personally, I have no issues with it. When I was in my mid-20s working a corporate job, I tried to get as much overtime as I could, especially when I was young. Knowing I didn't have a bunch of responsibility, I could actually dedicate my time to my career. Well, imagine you could do that and there's a tax savings benefit. People want to work extra and produce more and get paid for it, at least within reason. Well, then why not? It could be great for the nation's economy. This is good policy to explore. Just like no taxation on tips. You know, Trump keeps coming up with some pretty interesting stuff, and you could tell that I think he's a little bit inspired with Elon Musk. Elon, of course, is someone that Donald Trump is currently working with on a government efficiency department.
Fourth, at the suggestion of Elon Musk, who has given me his complete and total endorsement. That's nice. Smart guy. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. It's very, very much appreciated. I will create a government efficiency commission tasked with conducting a complete financial and performance audit of the entire federal government and making recommendations for drastic reforms. We need to do it. Can't go on the way we are now. And Elon, because he's not very busy, has agreed to head that task force. Be interesting. If he has the time, that'd be a good one to do it. But he's agreed to do it.
Again, during his incoherent, no-substance economic speech that CNN was referring to. But obviously, they're having conversations about productivity. Elon Musk is obsessed with productivity. He's the guy who bought Twitter, fired 90% of the staff, and operates essentially the same company, doing more and even evolving and innovating, with probably 10 to 20% of the workforce. At least that's what's been reported. And of course, we know his history in his other companies, his obsession with productivity and efficiency. You know, it's not a bad mindset in a nation that needs to rebuild itself in the digital age. If we fall too far behind, who's to say we keep up with Asia? Trump's focused on creating incentives for people to work, to produce, to make money and then spend that money and stimulate the economy. These are good policy ideas. That's probably why we're seeing Kamala Harris, in a lot of cases, stealing Trump's policy ideas.
She has no policy. Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat.
You know, probably because the stuff that he's saying is fully coherent and is actually smart. You know, here's another one of Trump's latest drops.
As part of our efforts to increase housing affordability, I will work with your governor to open up new tracts of federal land for large-scale housing construction, and you'll get it for a much lower price. More than 80% of all land in Nevada is owned by the federal government. Governor Lombardo has sent 3 letters to the Biden-Harris administration asking them to open up some of this land to help alleviate the crisis, but Kamala and Crooked Joe did not even have the decency to reply to those requests. Under the Trump administration, the pleas of Nevada will be ignored no longer. We're going to open it up. We'll start with a small portion, you'll get it going, and then we're going to open up large portions of land. We will create special new zones with ultra-low taxes and ultra-low regulations to allow the development of really extraordinary new housing at a proper price, while also bringing jobs and industries to Nevada, like the movie industry, the technology industry, and the massive manufacturing plants from foreign nations will be coming into your state, and that means jobs.
Again, smart policy. Illegal immigration are out of control. The nation's growing, and of course, the question is, if you want to avoid a housing bubble or housing affordability crisis, you need to build homes. You need less red tape, more available land, and a workforce ready to deploy with investor cash. You know, this is what other nations in the G7 are failing at. Too much bureaucracy, too much immigration, which is causing the cost of living, specifically around home costs, to soar through the roof. Well, how do you avoid that? Trump is right on the freaking money. Free up the land and free up the bureaucracy. You want affordable good homes? Then simply get the government to F off. It's literally that simple. But I guess, again, just another one of those incoherent, nonsense, word salad, randomly picked words out of a dictionary statements from Donald Trump. Give Give me a break. The media tells you the sky is purple, but we all know the sky is blue, we can see it. Don't fall for their alternate reality illusion. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.